Hello, and welcome to a brand new Dragonlands and FEH. As you can see here, we have a spring banner. The characters from this banner come from the game Dragonlands Drivalian Diverge. From left to right, we have Luca, Amity, Cornelia and Alexander, Eldigan, and Pacifica. Alright, without making any wasted time, let's move on to our first unit stats. Alrighty, first up we have our duo unit, Bunny Fashion Duo Alexander. Their weapon, Bunny Spear. Should be 16 might, 1 range. Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. If foe's HP is greater than 75%, or if foe's penalty grants all stats plus 5. And if foe's HP and foe's penalty neutralizes effects that prevents units follow-up attacks and events that prevent units counterattacks during combat. So basically they get 1/2 of null follow-up and null counter, null C disrupt. And then also at start of combat, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally and foe initiates combat, grants special cooldown charge +1 per foe's attack. So pretty much they're pretty much meant to be an omni-phase unit. They get the +1 charge if the foe initiates combat, and they get the wind sweep and no follow-up if they initiate. And let's move on to their duo skill. Grants another action and bonus doubler to ally with the highest HP that is already active and is within 2 spaces of the unit. Pretty much this is kind of like if Duo Peony and Harmonic Dorothea combined. But of course they also get to bonus doubler. Since Cornelia is a dancer, but Alexander is not, I decided to just have their duo skill be a dance skill rather than actually give them a dance skill. I guess that's a little background on the characters. Cornelia is a popular opera singer in Gardalia, her home kingdom. And Alexander is a popular fashion designer. As you can see, they work quite well together and are quite best friends. Seeing this duo alt is a good fitting with them. Alright, and without further ado, let's move on to their voice lines.
My, someone sure is interested in us.
They must love our outfits. Or maybe more.
Oh, Alexander, you've outdone yourself yet again with these gorgeous outfits.
Well, I couldn't just let us go around looking as basic as the others.
Oh, but of course. Could you imagine if we had to wear those grody basic outfits?
Gag.
I know, right? Now, about this egg hunt. I know it is just for kids, but I believe it would be a fun pastime for us.
I agree. If we are going to look this good, we may as well demonstrate.
Perhaps there will be other beautiful people there.
Well, even if, we will outshine them all.
Indeed.
Hippity hop. I'm on it. Don't want to ruin my gorgeous boots.
Wipe the floor with them.
You're not even dressed right. I'm hopping your way.
Hippity hoppity halt! How drab!
The outfits, they're ruined. Alrighty. Up next, we have Vernal Beast Eldigan, an Axe Cavalry unit. As you can see, he has Def Res Push. We know everybody's wanted that for a long time, and Eldigan's got it. And with his weapon, Carrot Crusher, 16 might and 1 range, grants defense +3 and effective against armored foes. If unit initiates combat or if foe's HP is greater than 75%, inflicts attack and defense -6 on foe during combat. And if unit initiates combat and foe's HP greater than 75%, grants attack and speed def res +5, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. And if foe has a penalty, deals damage equal to 25% of unit's defense plus res divided by 2. So if we can do the quick math here, let's see, we got just base defense and res, that's 70. With def res push, that goes up to 84. With 94 with his weapon. And 100 with the menace. So pretty much 25% of 100 is just 25 damage. Huh. Well, he's broken. No matter, that's quite literally at his max investment. So pretty much, as you can think, Def Res Push wouldn't work very well as you're getting defensive res just to take damage. But with Flow Refresh and the fact that he makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, that means, and with the guaranteed follow-up attack and the null follow-up and Flow Refresh, he's more often than not going to be making follow-up attacks and actually healing 5 HP after combat. So yeah, without further ado, let's move on to his voice lines. This field trip seems to be a success so far. Perhaps I'll bring my husband along next year. I wonder how the other professors are faring on their field trips. I haven't had this much fun since my travels with Chase. Have you prepared for the egg hunt yet? I won't be participating, but I do have to keep an eye on the students during it. The students are enjoying themselves. Perhaps the headmaster will let us do this again next year. Yes, I'll hop along. A hunt? Spring is here! With rabbit strength! Are you even trying? Royal Rabbit Strike! Winter's coming. Alright. Up next, we have our demote unit, Anxious Bunny Amity, Blue Beast Infantry. Her weapon, Vernal Claw, 16 might and 1 range. Grants attack +3. At start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than 75%, or if foe has penalty, inflicts attack and defense -6 on foe during combat. And if both foes' HP is less than 75% and foe has penalty, unit can attack twice. Even if foe initiates combat, unit attacks twice. At start of turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, yada yada, +2 attack, 7 damage, and Creator Sword, the usual beast infantry. She's kind of like she's pretty much outclassing Caden. I'm sorry to any Caden fans that I may or may not know, but the meta has gotten to him with Amity. She pretty much has his weapon effect and a lot more. With Heavy Blade, if she initiates combat, she's going to attack and then do Moonbow on her second hit. And I guess if anybody wants to run an enemy phase build, they can of course do like a breath skill in the S slot or whatnot. But yeah, not much to talk more about that. She is one of our class leaders alongside the next character. This is 2 out of 4 of the class leaders. You should see the other class leaders sometime this year. Yeah, without further ado, let's move on to her voice lines.
I wish I didn't have to come on this field trip. Why did it have to be bunnies? I wish I signed up for the winter field trip instead. Have you seen Professor Arias anywhere? I'm uncomfortable walking around alone like this. An egg hunt? So many people running around each other. Is there any way I can skip it? The flowers here are very nice. Maybe I could take a few home after the festival. Hippity hop? This way, right? Okay. Bunny power! I want to go home. Spring is here. I knew it.
Alrighty. Up next, we have Rabbit Friend Pacifica. She is a colorless tome infantry unit. She has another new skill, Speed Res Ideal 4. And her weapon, Bunny Storm, since sadly we have yet to see an inheritable colorless tome. 14 might and 2 range. Accelerate special trigger. If foe's HP is greater than 75%, or if we get that, that's the that's the theme of the banner. Grants attack and res +6 during combat. And after combat, restores 7 HP to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit. And if both of those conditions are met, grants attack and speed and res +4 and disables skills that calculate damage using lower foes def res using during combat. So she pretty much has something very similar to Spring Sharena's Refine, as you can see with this attack speed and res +4 and the healing. She's pretty much a colorless spring. She's pretty much a colorless Spring Sharena with modern day stats. Yeah, she's pretty much. She doesn't care too much about her defense as long as she doesn't fight a bow, a dagger, or someone with this encounter. She's more meant to take on dragons and mages. Yeah, without further ado, let's move on to her voice lines, shall we?
The foliage around here is just lovely. Almost as beautiful as back in Fredericsia. Oh my! I've never even heard of some of these flowers. This world is quite fascinating. The animals here are just so sweet. Maybe they'll help me in the egg hunt later. I can't believe I was split up from Peony and Azalea. Whatever, it's fine. These adorable bunny ears make me more like my wonderful animal friends. Hop like a bunny. Yes? Mm-hmm.
This rabbit bites. How dare you not celebrate? La 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 la. I'm not playing around. You devil.
Alright, and last but not least, we have our Tempest Trial unit, Royal Rabbit Luca. He is the Orkvale Prince, as well as the Orkvale class leader. And he is a blue bow cavalry unit. And his weapon is sadly the only heritable weapon on this banner. Effective against flyers, 14 might 2 range. If foe's HP is greater than 75% or foe's penalty, grants all stats +4. And also, if both foes thing inflicts attacking speed and events -4 on foe during combat. This would be a pretty, I see this being a very, sorry, notification, a very versatile weapon in the meta. It's definitely going to be a lot of people are going to use it. But yeah, he also comes with Def Res Catch, Sabotage Defense. He's meant to be tanky and not too fast, but still fast enough where it matters. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on with his voice lines, shall we? And this field trip is just what we needed to relax for a little while. Hey there, Summoner. Will you be joining us in the egg hunt later? I'll be looking for you. Have you seen Amity? If I don't find her, she'll never participate. It's a shame only so many of us could go on this trip. It would have been so much fun if Renee could have come too. I'm more used to fighting with a sword, but using a bow could be fun. Target spotted. I'll do my best. Hippity hop. Spring is here! I'm hopping your way! You're in my sights! Spring's radiance! The festival's over already? Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this new little cast characters. We now have 3 games kind of in the pool for ults and such. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Our next banner is actually not a seasonal banner. It is a new heroes banner. So I hope you guys look forward to that. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do your little dance, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.